O peace! And dost thou with thy presence bless the dwellings of this was-rounded isle, soothing with placid brow our late distress, making the triple kingdom brightly smile? Joyful I hail thy presence, and I hail the sweet companions that await on thee. Complete my joy, let not my first wish fail, let the sweet mountain nymph thy favourite be. Of England's Apennines proclaim Europa's liberty. O Europe, let not sceptred tyrants see that thou must shelter in thy former state. Keep thy chains burst, and boldly say thou art free. Give thy kings law, leave not uncurbed the great, so with the horrors past thou twain thy happier fate. Byron, how sweetly sad thy melody, attuning still the soul to tenderness, as if soft pity with unusual stress had touched her plaintive lute, and thou, being by, hadst caught the tones, nor suffered them to die. Or shadowing sorrow doth not make thee less delightful. Thou thy griefs dost dress with a bright halo, shining beamingly, as when a cloud the golden moon doth veil. Its sides are tinged with a resplendent glow, through the dark robe oft amber rays prevail, and like fair veins in sable marble flow. Still warble, dying swan, still tell the enchanting tale, the tale of pleasing woe. As from the darkening gloom a silver dove upsoars, and darts into the eastern light, on pinions that naught moves but pure delight, so fled thy soul into the realms above, regions of peace and everlasting love, where happy spirits, crowned with circlets bright of starry beam, and gloriously bedight, taste the high joy none but the blest can prove. There thou or joinest the immortal choir in melodies that even heaven fair fill with superior bliss, or at desire of the omnipotent Father cleavest to the air an holy message sent. What pleasures higher? Wherefore does any grief our joy impair? O Chatterton, how very sad thy fate, dear child of sorrow, son of misery! How soon the film of death obscured that eye, whence genius mildly flashed, and high debate! How soon that voice, majestic and elate, melted in dying numbers! Oh, how nigh was night to thy fair morning! Thou didst die a half-blown floweret which could blasts abate. But this is past. Thou art among the stars of highest heaven. To the rolling spheres thou sweetly singest, not thy hymn in Mars about the ingrate world and human fears. On earth the good man base detraction bars from thy fair name, and waters it with tears. What though, for showing truth to flattered state, kind Hunt was shut in prison, yet has he, in his immortal spirit, been as free as the sky-searching lark, and as elate. Minion of grandeur, think you he did wait? Think you he not but prison walls did see, till so unwilling thou unturn'dst the key? Ah no, far happier, nobler was his fate. In Spenser's halls he strayed, and bowers fair, culling enchanted flowers, and he flew with daring motion through the fields of air. To regions of his own his genius true took happy flights. What shall his fame impair when thou art dead, and all thy wretched crew? Woman, when I behold thee flippant, vain, inconstant, childish, proud, and full of fancies, without that modest softening that enhances the downcast eye, repentant of the pain that its mild light creates to heal again. E'en then, elate, my spirit leaps and prances, e'en then my soul with exultation dances, for that to love so long I have dormant lain. But when I see thee meek and kind and tender, heavens, how desperately do I adore thy winning graces! To be thy defender, I hotly burn to be a Calidore, a very Red Cross knight, a stout Leander, might I be loved by thee like these of yore. Light feet, dark violet eyes, and podded hair, soft dimpled hands, white neck, and creamy breast, are things on which the dazzled senses rest, till the fond, fixed eyes forgetfully stare. From such fine pictures, heavens, I cannot dare to turn my admiration, though unpossessed they be of what is worthy, though not dressed in lovely modesty and virtues rare. Yet these I leave as thoughtless as a lark, these lures I straight forget, e'en ere I dine, or thrice my palate moisten. But when I mark such charms with mild intelligence shine, my ears open like a greedy shark to catch the tunings of a voice divine. Ah, who can e'er forget so fair a being? Who can forget her half-retiring sweets? Gad, she is like a milk-white lamb that bleats for man's protection. Surely the all-seeing, who joys to see us with his gifts green, will never give him pinions, who entreats such innocence to ruin, who vilely cheats a dove-like bosom. In truth, there is no freeing one's thoughts from such beauty. When I hear a lay that once I saw her hand awake, her form seems floating palpable and near. Had I e'er seen her from an arbor take a dewy flower, oft would that hand appear, and o'er my eyes the trembling moisture shake. O Solitude, if I must with thee dwell, let it not be among the jumbled heap of murky buildings. Climb with me the steep, Nature's observatory, whence the dell, its flowery slopes, its surface crystal swell, may seem a span. Let me thy vigils keep midst boughs pavilioned, where the deer's swift leap startles the wild bee from the foxglove bell. But thou I'll gladly trace these scenes with thee, yet the sweet converse of an innocent mind, whose words are images of thoughts refined, is my soul's pleasure, and it sure must be almost the highest bliss of humankind, when to thy haunts two kindred spirits flee. Had I a man's fair form, then might my sighs be echoed swiftly through that ivory shell, thine ear, and find thy gentle heart so well would passion arm me for the enterprise. But I am no knight whose foeman dies, no cuirass glistens on my bosom's swell. I am no happy shepherd of the dwell, whose lips have trembled with a maiden's eyes. Yet must I dote upon thee, call thee sweet, sweeter by far than Hebla's honeyed roses, when steeped in dew rich to intoxication. Ah, I will taste that dew, for me 'tis meet, and when the moon her pallid face discloses, I'll gather some by spells and incantations.